guys, and welcome back to another video. This is Zach and Dean, and today we are comparing Cambodia and Thailand. Now, if you're an American thinking about moving abroad, both of these countries might end up on your list. And since we already live in Bangkok, we wanted to see if Cambodia could actually compete with the lifestyle we have built here in Thailand.
All right. So let's get right to it. Let's start with what's most important for everybody. This runs the show, and that is cost of living.
Yeah, cost of living. So housing in Bangkok for a modern one-bedroom apartment is about $500 to $800 a month. In Phnom Penh, that same one-bedroom condo would be about $450 to $600 a month. And this is in neighborhoods like BKK1 and Thon La Basa. So the condos in Phnom Penh are slightly cheaper and comparable to Bangkok, and they offer the same amenities. That's the good thing. And I will say, the condos are bigger.
So the condos are bigger in general in Phnom Penh at least.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So on to the local food. Right. In Bangkok, local meals are about $1.50 to $3, and it was actually the same in Phnom Penh. So you can eat incredibly affordable in both of these cities for just a few dollars. The only difference? It's not as spicy,
Yeah, They don't have the action.
Yeah.
That time. So you need more action, need more spice in the food.
But you can always ask for action.
Yes.
They have, chilies and all that stuff there. But there's a ton of street food available and local food available to you. So now for Western food, it's actually the same as well. Bangkok and Phnom Penh both, you can eat Western meals for about $8 to $15 a meal.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is, I think Phnom Penh, they do have a lot of international restaurants due to French influence, but Bangkok just has more options.
Yeah, more options of different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Different cultures of food.
You're right. In Phnom Penh, you'll find that there's a lot of Indian food, a lot of bakeries, French bakeries, and Italian restaurants, and they have really nice coffee shops.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a coffee drinker. Yeah. And as far as fast foods, though, we saw quite a few KFCs, and they have some Burger King.
But they don't have, I know people are going to not like this, but they don't have any McDonald's in Cambodia.
Yeah, which was fine for us.
That's hard to
believe. Yeah,
McDonald's
everywhere. I was a bit taken back by that, even though we don't eat it. We're like, how can you not have a McDonald's? And they don't. But for more about the food and Khmer food, check out our food channel. We tried food, so you can explore more there.
Yeah, that's a Cambodian food.
Yes, Cambodian food. So now on to transportation. In Bangkok, $50 to $100 a month for transportation, right? And Bangkok has the MRT, BTS, Grabs. There's a bunch of ways to get around in Bangkok. In Phnom Penh, it was about $40 to $80 a month. Now the Grabs are significantly cheaper here.
Yeah.
And tuk-tuks are everywhere, and it's actually on the Grab.
Yeah, tuk-tuks are actually on the Grab, and they're cheaper. We were taking tuk-tuk Grabs for about $1 on average.
Yeah. We were doing what we wouldn't do in Bangkok.
We took tuk-tuks every day.
Yeah.
Because they were $1 in a tuk-tuk.
Exactly. Yeah. Now for utilities, Bangkok, and this is like electric, water, internet, and phone. In Bangkok, you're going to spend about $80 to $150 a month on your utilities. In Phnom Penh, that's about $100 to $220 a month. And this depends heavily on air conditioning because it costs more there. They import power there more. Internet and water was basically the same. So looking at the numbers, it's pretty even. It's just based on your lifestyle. So if your biggest priority is keeping your monthly expenses down, Phnom Penh is definitely, in there. You take a look at it because it might be worth it for you. Yeah.
All right. So number 2, and this is mainly for Americans coming over here, but we're talking about infrastructure because, like I say all the time, you can't go down in infrastructure. When you live a certain place, you need the next place to match that infrastructure or be higher.
Right. So, I mean, we just have to be clear here because Bangkok is a much larger city than Phnom Penh, right? With a significantly bigger population. So we are comparing what it's actually like just to live day to day, right? How to get around. So for public transportation, Bangkok just give you so many ways to get around. As we said before, you even have like the boat taxis. It's just the MRT, BTS, the canal boats. You have cars and taxis for the grabs on the app. Now in Phnom Penh, like we said, you have the grab tuk-tuks, you have taxis, but there's no train and no bike taxis. So and Cambodia's traffic is a lot, but it's easier to navigate because it's not as big. So I found that was a bit easier. Yeah. And now for shopping and convenience, both places have huge malls. The malls are very nice in Cambodia. Bangkok just have a lot more.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
A lot more malls. I do think in Asia, there's a mall culture.
Yes.
In Asia that is really, it died for about 20, 30 years in America. There's no mall culture in America anymore.
No.
But in Asia, and specifically in Thailand, yeah, the malls are something else.
Yeah, and they both have, grocery store. You can find basically what you want, but we did notice the groceries are a bit more pricier and higher in Phnom Penh. So what you pay in Bangkok, it'll be just a little bit higher, So, but if you're a street food lover, they have so many local markets, food vendors, so that can keep your costs low, right? Because that's what we do. We buy our fruits and vegetables from the local vendors. So both have imported products, but it is easier to find in Bangkok because you have supermarkets, let's say specifically for that, like Villa Market.
Yeah, you can find more international products in Bangkok, and Bangkok is a more international city than Phnom Penh is.
Yeah. So, but they have food delivery, Grab, all that stuff, the same as Bangkok. So you'll find what you need in both cities, but Bangkok just give you more options. That's it, And so safety. We felt safe walking around with no problem. People were very friendly, and we know the term Scambodia, right?
Yeah. So they're talking about this now, and we actually heard this a while. We didn't think that much of it until we actually got there. But Scambodia, speaking of the Cambodian scams, we didn't notice any more scams in Cambodia than we did in Thailand, which are like the little petty tuk-tuk scams or taxi scams that they might do. But we didn't notice that Cambodia was less safe than Thailand.
No, we just got a little more stares, but the people were just as friendly, so, and I felt safe. Didn't feel unsafe as a woman walking around or anything like that, even with the stairs. So,
you're kind of strong.
Well, I wasn't worried, let's just say. But we will say this, safety in every country is based on you. We both come from a major city, right? Born and raised in Philly. I lived in Philly for 27 years, police dispatcher. We are usually always aware of our surroundings. My bag is always in the front. We just know how to move coming from a big city. So it would be hard per se to, I think, get us or somebody from New York or just a big city in general.
Yeah, it's just a little harder.
Just a little harder.
Just more aware.
Yes. And as far as the internet, they both have fast, reliable internet. That wasn't even a thing we noticed, but I know that is a concern if you're a remote worker. The internet is just as good. And now airports, right? Airport's a big deal, a part of the infrastructure. Now, they both have international airports. Of course, Bangkok has two. It's a bigger city and more direct flights. But Phnom Penh Airport, which is 45 minutes away from the city center, still has, it's a beautiful airport.
Yeah, really nice airport.
Yeah.
Really nice airport.
Yeah, but if you travel a lot, Bangkok has the advantage here. So, and then on to things to do, right? We know Bangkok has everything to do.
Yeah, everything in the world you want to do is probably in Bangkok all the time.
We just found an ice skating ring.
Yeah,
right?
we just found an ice skating ring in Bangkok.
Yes.
So yeah, there's everything in Bangkok.
Yeah. So how does Phnom Penh match up, right? They have a bunch of markets. We like markets. They have a bunch of local markets, the weekend markets, night markets. They have a walking street and a ton of wet markets, just like Bangkok, and they have tours that you can explore as well. We did a few. We went to, the killing fields to learn about the culture and the horrific things that happen there. The silk farm. They have dinner cruises, the big red bus, all that stuff.
Yeah, they have temples there too, and massages there. They have everything. We actually did go to a spa.
Yeah, that's
spa.
That's nice.
Had a spa massage. This was a birthday.
Yeah, it was my birthday.
So she had a whole spa day and everything.
Yeah, it was nice. But yeah, they have rooftop and some nightlife. So if you want the rooftop bars, they have all that there. Now, we don't really have a nightlife, so we can't, totally dive into that for you, but I'm sure you can find, stuff on it. Yeah.
Our nightlife is over.
So, guys, if you are thinking about traveling or moving abroad, we have built everything on our website. We have step-by-step guides, especially if you're moving to Thailand. We do one-on-one consultations, scouting trip plans, AI tools to help you plan your trip. Everything is at zakandbean.com.
All right, so let's get to number 3. Number 3, and this is really important, and that is visas. If you're going to any countries, visas are going to be an important subject.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Right. So the thing is, Thailand offers several long-term options, right? And we have a full video breakdown of that. We can link it in the description below because you have your DTV, retirement, education, LTR, and each one has a different requirement that you have to figure out. So Cambodia keeps it very simple, right? So when you're coming in, instead of applying for a tourist visa, you apply for an ordinary visa, which is $35. And then you can extend it inside the country. And the process is super simple and it's less intimidating than Thailand, right? So before your 30 days expire that you applied for that ordinary visa, you can just go in and extend it for 3, 6, or 12 months. And they have different categories you can choose, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to have different requirements, right? You can do a business, retirement, education. They have one for job seekers. And then so you can get a 12-month extension for roughly around $200 to $300, and that's per year. So unlike Thailand, Cambodia requires no major financial hurdles or frozen bank deposits. So, it can be pretty good.
So where does Cambodia shine when it comes to visas? Because we are telling you or giving you an alternative where you might want to go besides Thailand. So
right.
Where does Cambodia shine?
Yeah, it's because there's a straightforward long-term visa option and it can be less intimidating than Thailand. So yeah, this is definitely worth taking a look at.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next one, and this is important for old people like us, and that is healthcare.
Yeah, we always pay close attention to it. Although, our stance is that health starts with you. You still need to know about what's going on around you, right? Mm-hmm. So we know Thailand, Bangkok is a global medical hub with world-class hospitals. Everything is JCI accredited hospitals. They have specialists for everything. And actually, Thailand ranks 8th in the world with healthcare. Now, Cambodia ranks 89, but United States ranks 41. This is a new study that just came out. So look into it. But a routine doctor visit can cost around $30 to $60, while comprehensive annual health screenings often run between $120 and $300, depending on the hospital. Now, this is in, Cambodia. So Cambodia has private hospitals as well and quality clinics. So, and that's for like everyday care. It is affordable, but the overall healthcare system isn't as extensive as Bangkok. So especially if you need like a specialist or some type of complex procedure. But I mean, Bangkok, Thailand is not too far. So you have option.
Let's ask a question though. Let's ask a question. We give some information here about Cambodia, but is Cambodia a good choice for retirees?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if your priorities are lower housing costs, a slower pace of life, and just simple daily living. Yeah, you can have lower monthly expenses here. So, of course, Thailand or Bangkok still offers advantages in healthcare infrastructure and just the sheer number of stuff available services, but it still depends on what you value most. So if your goal is just to have a simple life, stretch your retirement income even further, yeah, Cambodia definitely should be on that list. So yeah.
All right, so let's talk about our personal experience.
Yeah.
We give you the logistics, general logistics, but let's talk about us and our personal experience. Could Cambodia replace Thailand for us?
No.
No.
No. So, and this is for us. This is why you go visit places and see what it is, because, and it has nothing to do with Cambodia. We completely understand why some people would choose Cambodia after being there. It just didn't give us the same feeling that Thailand gives us. And that's why we encourage people, as I said, to go visit for themselves and don't choose a country because someone else told you to go or it's the hot spot. You actually have to come experience it, walk the neighborhoods, go grocery shopping, just live a normal life so you see how the place fits you,
So let me just say, or let me ask you the question.
Yeah.
What didn't you like about Phnom Penh, Cambodia that would make you not want to live there over time?
I do think the transportation, more the infrastructure. And for me, I'm an explorer. And I think after a certain amount of time, I'm going to see all of what Phnom Penh is. And I want to live in a bustling city where there's always something to do at any time. That's just what I want. So yeah, I need to know. I'm a new.
No, that's all right. For me, the number one difference I noticed was food.
Okay.
Yeah, the food in Phnom Penh wasn't that close to Thailand's food.
Yeah.
So, and for me personally, wherever I go and stay, I have to like the food. Otherwise, I can't stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the food has to be dynamite. Otherwise, I can't stay. It can't even be mediocre. It has to be good food. So that would be my major issue. And then after that, it would be infrastructure, which in Phnom Penh, Cambodia is still good.
Yeah.
But it's not as good.
Right.
As it is in Bangkok.
So, yeah, I would say, I think you just had to grab chilies all the time. In Thailand, they cook with a lot more chilies, and he loves chilies too.
Or even the flavor. I didn't think the flavor on the dishes even compared to Thailand's dishes without the spice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flavor didn't compare.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, listen, if you're planning to move to Thailand and want to make the transition as smooth as possible, we have created a whole bunch of resources on, our website. You go to docandbean.com, you'll find a Thailand relocation guide, scouting trip guides, and this will help you make costly mistakes. You can book a one-on-one consultation. Everything, we'll link it below, and, it'll help you on your journey here to Thailand. So, but that's it, guys, right?
That's
See ya.
All right, peace.